It was supposed to be just another meaningless dinner. Ethan Cole, the youngest CEO in the city's history, sat at a corner table of the lavish Skyline restaurant. His sharp suit matched the chill in his gray eyes, and even the waiter seemed afraid to interrupt him. Around him, crystal chandeliers reflected the city lights, but he felt nothing. He checked his watch again. 7:42. His assistant had arranged this blind date, saying the woman was perfect for his image. But as with everything in Ethan's life, it was just business, a calculated attempt to soften his reputation after another ruthless corporate acquisition. He didn't need love. He didn't even believe in it anymore. So when the elegant woman he was supposed to meet never showed up, he wasn't surprised. He simply signaled the waiter. "Cancel the reservation," he muttered coldly. But then, "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" A soft voice startled him. He looked up and saw a girl. No, a woman, probably in her mid-20s. Her clothes were simple. A worn beige coat, a little frayed at the sleeves. Her hair was wet from the rain, and she clutched a small notebook to her chest as if it were her only treasure. Ethan opened his mouth to tell her she had the wrong table, but she sat down before he could speak. "I'm so sorry I'm late," she said breathlessly, brushing rain off her cheeks. "The bus broke down, and then my umbrella, well, it kind of died." She laughed awkwardly. "But I made it." He frowned. "I think you're mistaken. I don't—" "Oh, wait," she said suddenly, her face freezing. "You're not Mr. Anders?" He shook his head slowly. "Ethan Cole." Her eyes widened. "Oh my God, the CEO of Cole Enterprises?" "Unfortunately," he said dryly. Her cheeks flushed crimson. I'm so sorry. I thought this was table 7, but I guess—" She started to stand, fumbling with her bag, but he stopped her. "Sit." She blinked. "What?" He leaned back, curiosity flickering for the first time in years. "You look like you could use a warm meal." Her stomach growled in betrayal, and she bit her lip. He caught the sound and almost smiled. "Sit," he repeated more softly. "Dinner's on me." Her name was Lila Moore. She worked part-time at a flower shop and took night classes in design. She wasn't supposed to be there that night. Her blind date, some guy she met through a friend, had texted her the wrong table number. And yet somehow, that mistake led her here. They talked awkwardly at first. Ethan found himself strangely drawn to her honesty. She didn't try to impress him or flatter him. She talked about colors, dreams, and the way she wanted to open a small studio one day. At one point, she laughed at one of her own clumsy jokes, and the sound, it did something to him. It cracked something deep inside his chest, something he thought was frozen solid. "Do you always laugh at your own jokes?" he teased, one eyebrow raised. "Someone has to," she said with a grin. It was ridiculous, really. He was a billionaire. She was a girl who took the bus and lived in a tiny apartment with peeling paint. They came from different worlds. But that night, for the first time in years, Ethan didn't feel like a CEO. He just felt human. Days passed and he couldn't stop thinking about her. He tried to bury himself in work, but every file he opened reminded him of her voice. Every board meeting felt emptier. Finally, he gave in and went back to the flower shop. She was there behind the counter, arranging white lilies. When she saw him, her mouth fell open. "Mr. Cole, what are you?" He shrugged. "Buying flowers." "For who?" He paused. "For someone who makes me smile." Her eyes softened. "Then maybe she's lucky." "She doesn't know it yet." She smiled shyly and wrapped the bouquet with trembling hands. "Well, tell her soon. Flowers don't last forever." He did tell her. Eventually. It started with coffee runs, long walks after her classes, late-night calls when she was studying. She never treated him like a CEO. She teased him, challenged him, made him eat cheap street food instead of 5-star meals. And slowly, she changed everything. The cold in his voice faded. The sharpness in his gaze softened. His employees whispered about how Mr. Cole smiles now. Lila never asked for anything. No gifts, no money, no promises, just his time, his honesty. And one snowy evening, when they walked home from the shop, she said quietly, "I never thought someone like you would ever notice someone like me." He looked at her, snowflakes caught in her hair. "Then maybe you're the only one I was supposed to notice." Months later, she stood by his side at a charity gala. The same society that once whispered about his cold heart now whispered about the girl who melted it. When the press asked how they met, Ethan only smiled. "She sat at the wrong table," he said, "and changed my life." Lila laughed softly beside him. Maybe it wasn't the wrong table after all. He looked at her, eyes full of warmth that money could never buy. "No," he said, "it was exactly where you were meant to be."